So I'm seeing a lot of pain in the market right now. And what that taught me was what Scott and I and what Ginger, what you and I have talked about for years and years, is that originators and real estate professionals really need to own their own personal brand.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Influencers, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry technology, and services to help you be a mortgage influencer in your mortgage business. I'm excited for today. So we are live now. We want to welcome you to another episode of Mortgage Influencers. Today is Wednesday. My name is Ginger Bell. I have with me Scott Schang. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
And we have a very special friend today who I'm excited to have an entire conversation with. Mark Madsen has been in the industry for 20 years. We always say
3 years.
Is it 23?
Yes, it is.
When you were 12.
When I was 12.
And for those of you who don't know Mark is one of those people that when you sit down and have an opportunity to have a conversation with Mark, you will quickly grab whatever napkin, pad of paper, whatever you can to start writing with, because the information that he has to share and the ideas that come from him on streamlining processes, creating lead captures, websites, all kinds of things are amazing. I had an opportunity to work with Mark. It was back in 2008 when he was creating his, it was a website lead capture for 203K, back when we were all like, what shall we do next? And I know you ran that for a long time and generated how many leads out of that website? Thousands and thousands of leads, right?
Thousands of leads, but more so the opportunity to be the #1 branded loan officer in that particular city. So it just opened up a lot more doors.
Yeah. And so we're going to hop right in, because Scott and I have had the pleasure of knowing you for a long time. I know we've done a lot of different conferences together. And so, I want to start off with really where we're at right now and where you see opportunities for originators today to be able to expand their business and their presence online. So where you see those opportunities, and then we'll get into kind of how they can get into capturing those.
Well, thank you. Thank you, guys. As we were just talking, I come out of hiding for a few people, and you were 2 at the top of my list. I love the opportunity to have conversations. I spent the past week going through all of Scott's AI videos. Man, I hope we can get into some of that today as well. So I spent the past year doing my 1-year tour as marketing director for a big mortgage company. Like most mortgage companies, they're all getting swallowed up or consolidated or moving on. But what I did with this last year was I learned really what loan officers have the most pain at as a salesperson, as opposed to a marketing mentality like I have. So I found that the digital graphics, scalability, and some things that loan officers are really having challenge just creating the personal brand. And then all of a sudden the company closes its doors or changes its name. And now they have to move their website, all of their digital graphics, their entire social media presence, all of those videos. So I'm seeing a lot of pain in the market right now. And what that taught me was what Scott and I and what Ginger, what you and I have talked about for years and years, is that originators and real estate professionals really need to own their own personal brand as much as their company will absolutely allow them to do so. And I think that going into this next year, as more companies decide to change names, the loan officers that can get out in front of their customers, their referral partners, and their community with their personal brand, that is the opportunity. People tend to go quiet as change happens, but there are people that are talking quite loudly about still being in the business, and there are still mortgage money available. We've got a lot of real estate agents who've got this great anxiety about, hey, I've got buyers that I've been working with for 6 months, are finally ready to buy. Can I close a loan with you? So going forward, I guess a short answer is mind your personal brand right now for the next 12 months. Really hone in on your personal brand right now for the next.
Sorry, I just turned you on my Facebook.
Yeah.
So
I got the echo.
That was such a great statement. It deserved to be said twice.
exactly. So, okay, so personal brand, and I think people kind of struggle with that a little bit as far as identifying what does that personal brand look like, because they have the website that their company gives them. How can they, if they have the ability to do that, how can they create a personal brand outside of what the company's giving them? So what are some things that you're recommending?
You know what? That's a really good question. I'm happy you brought that up. A lot of these types of calls, people talk about branding. So let me be more specific. My background comes from technology and obsessing over systems that you can own. I really believe that an originator should own the technology as much as they're possibly allowed to have. Get their own website.
Okay.
Create their own digital assets, whether it be in Canva or another platform, and don't rely so heavily on the actual company you work for to create your entire marketing and branding ability. So understand just the bare essentials of how to set up a social media profile, what type of a website you can control, the URL that is tied to that website, which is important because if your company gives you a company landing page, it's still yourname.company.com.
Right.
That doesn't help out if you've got all of your marketing and email automation set up. You have to go and change those links. So I would think, as we talk over the next few minutes today, owning the technology and the platforms instead of letting your company control you through that ownership. And that's really what I'm talking about by your personal branding.
And you can still integrate some of, the things, the tools, the online application and things like that, but to be able to have your own brand and really to be able to have the lead capture. Now that ties in a lot to AI. And Scott, I know you've been noticing this a lot too, as far as having that presence outside of social media, because I think a lot of times people think of, hey, check mark, I've got my social media, I'm doing my Insta Reels, whatever that is. And that's probably enough. But what you're saying is you need to own your own brand outside of social media, have a website where you can do your blogs, where you can post your videos to where people can find them, not just on YouTube, but to really start doing that. And then that can get into the lead capture, right?
Exactly. Find my way home, right? Scott, you have a number of loan originators on a national directory, a national platform of mortgage professionals, and they can change their company logo at any time, but it's still who they are behind that video. It's the message. Your webinar last week, Ginger, talking about the TikTok, the voice, the culture, who you are, what you actually believe in. That's what I'm talking about. There's a number of places out there where you can put your face on outside platforms, but you can still kind of control the technology that it's built on. And
you're seeing that too in AI too, Scott.
Yeah. I mean, it's really early with AI, but what we've been seeing is, so I think about this a lot. I'm like Mark, we're very obsessive people. We find a thread, we just keep pulling it. And Mark, I want to kind of say, Mark was my original mortgage influencer. Like when I met Mark the first time, I don't remember, was it 2006? Something like that. Like he was the smartest guy in the room. And I was just like, man, this guy's thinking about stuff that nobody else is thinking about. And we were kind of thinking about our own stuff, but we connected very quickly. But as a result of that, we've seen a lot of platforms come and go in our careers. And we've seen a lot of the next big things. And there are big audiences on TikTok. There are big audiences on Facebook. There are big audiences on Instagram, but all of those people are on Google, right? So it's just people that are on Facebook might not be on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you might not be on Facebook, but everybody is in Google. And I don't think it's an or, I think this is a conversation about and social media is very, very easy. They make it very easy, and they hire brain scientists to create algorithms to capture you and suck you into those environments and not let you leave. And I think what Mark is saying here is so important. Yes, do that stuff and leverage that audience, and start building these assets that you can own. Because if you say Facebook's never going to go away or TikTok's never going to go away, I don't know. You don't know that. I mean, in the world of technology, things happen very, very quickly. And I remember when Snapchat was going to be the big thing that was going to completely change the industry. So these things evolve and these things change, and it's good to put boats in. You can put boats in ponds, but also make sure you're building a ship for the ocean. Just make sure that you have them these presences, this presence in as many places as you possibly can. So and AI doesn't know what you're doing on social. So if in 24 months from today, never type in another Google search, we just ask the AI and it gives us the answer, how are we going to be found if the AI doesn't know anything about us, if it can't find anything about us, and it can't find anything you post on social, but it can find your profiles on social. So again, I think Mark mentioned this also. Make sure that you have consistent profiles, the public part of your social profiles, make sure those are built out and consistent and tell a consistent story. And yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know. I'm not saying anything new here. I think I'm just building on what Mark's saying, but yeah,
Well, Scott, I want to talk about that AI for a second, if you don't mind. With the ability to create content and digital images, I believe that our consumers and our referral partners, our clients, are going to be trained to really not trust the information that they are being that they're looking at. I mean, right now, mortgage companies put out generic memes that everybody can share, branded to the company. And I watch these loan officers and these real estate agents post the same graphic to their friends on Facebook. And I think that they're training people to actually ignore them without that personal branding. And I believe that we can leverage this AI to help escalate the conversation to a higher level. And when I'm talking about the personal branding, it's having your face on the storybook that Ginger just put out, having your face in a video that you actually personally create on a directory, like you have a nice professional website like Find My Way Home, and then using all of the social media channels as just simply a publishing platform. But instead of just posting generic info, we're really going to have to put our faces behind it in order to earn the trust of the people we're trying to speak to, because we are all going to be just disenfranchised with this enormous amount of more content being created by the bots anyway. I mean, how are we going to cut through that noise?
Well, it's not just your face, it's your voice. I mean, it's who you are, it's your persona. You know, I equate what you're talking about to, like, in terms of marketing, having a billboard up, that it's going to be up there longer. I mean, YouTube, there's videos that people find, 3 years ago. I mean, I did videos on my YouTube channel on TRID, and I still get comments on those things. I have an interview with an underwriter that I did, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I still get comments on that. That's the billboard. Your social media, that's that 30-second radio spot that you may capture their attention if they happen to be, in the car, listening, whatever. So you want to do that, but you also that's not the only thing you need to be doing. You need to have that billboard up so it's up there longer, and you need to build into systems. So, if you're having those videos up, you need to have a good system in place to tell them where to go next. And that's one of the, that's your superpower, Mark. Is that's where your mind, and you and I, had a brief conversation. I'm going to share some of the brilliance that happens within Mark. And then, if you want to talk with Mark, he's coming out of hiding, what projects you're taking on these days or what you're doing. I know you have some great things you're working on, but I have a brand new publication that's coming out that will be available probably within the next couple of weeks. And it is a children's book that we have illustrated, and you can brand it. And so I was talking to Mark and saying, hey, we're really excited about this. And Mark said, let's build a way for them to easily, have a collateral, a piece of the book so they can see what it looks like. And so honestly, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Mark sends me this that he's created, and this is part of that second step. So here, I have a new offer. It's a book. You can personalize it, customize it. And so he says, let's do the next step. And this is his idea around the next step, which is brilliant. So he created this. It's an app. It's a link. You can put it onto, if you're doing Facebook ads, you can send it out to email. That's what Mark's talking about. So have your brand, your voice, who you are, but then have them have an easy way to connect with you and go to the next step. And I love the fact, Mark, that you made this engaging, because that's the thing that I think people really miss on those, corporate memes and things like that. It's not engaging. It's like, I saw it, boom, it's gone. What's the next step? And so with this, walk through, what you did with this.
So I got up this morning, I jumped in the pool. I said,
He lives in Las Vegas.
It just started to get warm too. I've been jumping in the cold pool, but now it's warmer. So I got up and I said, I really love your book idea, Ginger. I mean, it's just a great book. I grew up on highlights, right? And a traditional lead magnet or lead funnel is, hey, here, download this ebook on something. Download this ebook on the top 50, Chat GPT, whatever. Problem when you promote a landing page like that is that somebody will give you Mickey Mouse as the name and something at yahoo.com. So you're really not getting their information. And I built a funnel like this for my real estate agents. We're rolling out an iBuyer network. So I need a large group of listing agents that I can create a personally branded website for to generate leads with. So what I did is I created, hey, here are the top 3 digital images you can put on Facebook and Instagram this weekend that'll generate listing leads. And I branded those to the actual agent. And then when they hit submit, it pops into a thank you page that says, great, now we're doing a webinar or a lunch and learn on this topic. So I gave you the digital asset.
Perfect.
You're going to go run with it, show up at my class, and I'm going to teach you how to use it, partner with me, and I'm going to give you all of my other tools. So because I've already kind of built that funnel with this particular scenario, it's like, all right, why don't we go ahead and give people a branded digital asset that they can share? I made it into an Instagram story format. And I built this in a few hours this morning before our call. I know it was like last minute, but I'm like, you know what, let's run this. Let's see if we can do this really fast. Right. Technically, what you should have up at the top there is a video of you that says, hey, I'm going to give you this. Here's what it looks like. Give me your information below, and then it'll come to you. So basically, it's really easy. If you put in your information right there, the actual information you want on that digital asset, it runs it through a series of automations, and then it'll email you that actual digital asset that you can share, branded to you.
So then this, so Mark sent this to me this morning in a text. He said, hey, check this out. So I did. It's like, I love this idea. And it's not a garbage in, garbage out. In order for them to have the asset you're talking about that they can use in post, they're going to put their information in there because they want to know what that is. So I did that. And within minutes, I received an email with this. It's like, oh, this is really cool. I can go put this on social media. So now you have something of value. And then on the other side, and this is what's so cool, now you're gathering data. And we've always said what? Data is king on no matter what you're doing, right? So now we have good information of someone who's taken the time to fill something out, given us good quality information that we can go and continue marketing to. And so you've done a good job, collecting information here. I have address, everything that you've done, even up to the time that it was sent, right?
Yep, it bounces back and forth with the API, so I know every time something is updated or changed. But it's the new culture of marketing 3, of Web 3. It's permission-based marketing. I'm going to give you something of value. You're going to give me your information. instead of I'm going to trick you into downloading this and then I'm going to spam or drip, like people like to say.
Right.
Like, I'm going to give you something cool. You want more of that? And then as you can keep scrolling down on that page, Ginger, it's just, it's just, you can click on some of that, just gives it a quick highlight, but mainly it's, I mean, I would encourage everyone here to try this. You can put the link out there just to see. I mean, it's not like there's going to be some spam marketing, but it's cool. Here's some examples of the book that you can actually share right now to see what type of an engagement you can get from your audience on social.
Right.
I like that little maze that you created in there. I mean, I love the graphics. I think you said you had a Disney graphic artist put this book together.
Yeah. So what
It's such an awesome idea.
And this is so this is our website. And for those of you seeing this is, not quite ready for prime time.
Sorry, I rushed it for you.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So for those of you who are watching, this will be available shortly.
I was following the dopamine. And let me build this thing really fast before our call this morning.
I love it. And the idea behind this, and this is the thing, guys, it's like looking for opportunities to brand yourself. That's where I come up with the idea with this. It's like, kids have a lot of anxiety about moving, and we're involved in that process, whether you're a loan originator, whether you're a real estate agent, where you're directly at that point with families where you can have an influence on them, right? And so it was based on the old highlights books that we used to get, and they're actually still around, where you've got some stories and mazes and word binds and things like that. And so I've been wanting to do this, and I finally just said, I'm going to do it. It's one of those things like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so we have 2 stories. I actually commissioned a Disney artist. And so it's about 25 pages long. And the thing that's cool with it, it's got a little flip book in here, is it's not going to be available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or anything. You can only get this through someone who has customized it. And so whether you're a loan originator or a real estate agent, you can even co-brand it with a real estate agent. I'm working with Mark. We're going to make a directory of people that, are getting this, because, I think there's some opportunities there. But about branding, I see this, and, I do a lot with video production. So it's like, why not do some videos talking about how do you talk to your kids about moving? How do you prepare them for moving? We're always talking about mortgages and things like that. And people are always like, what else can I do a video about? It's like, talk about something that's near and dear to their heart that honestly probably keeps them up at night, to where, kids are worried about it. They're worried about changing schools, things like that. And so that's why we created the book. Where I would put this at, because we've got this order today, is I would put that right here, to where, we've got to send me a sample copy. It's like, hey, see what it looks like. So exactly what you've done here, I would just put that in there to where that's there. And for those of you who are watching this, I'll post it into our Q&A so you guys can have that. I'm getting people saying.
I'm trying to answer a question. It's not the full funnel. It actually emails them their fully branded digital asset within a minute or 30 seconds.
Which is so cool. Yeah.
So it's all done. There's no extra work on the side.
So I'm going to post this for those of you who are on our Zoom call. I'm posting it right now in our chat, so you can go in and try it. But there's so many places you could put this at, Mark, to where, if you're doing a webinar, you can do something like that. If you're doing lunch and learn, you can do something like that. If you're doing Facebook ads, you could do something like that.
It's giving something of value to the person you want to do business with. And on the real estate side, I have been focusing on real estate agents and listings for 20 years.
Yeah.
I started building real estate sites 20 years ago for my real estate agents. And so that's my niche. So anything that I can do branded to the loan officer and the agent, but generate leads through social or Google, the branding component really makes that relationship sticky.
And that's the key. So we have a question. I think you tried to answer it, Mark, through the Zoom, but it just says, is there a way to email them a link to the graphic so the information you get is real and not given away with Mickey Mouse name and email? And that's exactly what.
Yeah, try it, test it and see how it works. Scott was testing it for me this morning. There was something I removed all fields to make them required. So if you don't put in your name, then it's going to come back without your name. If you don't put in your phone number, it's going to come back without your phone number, which in some cases, that's fine. People are like, ooh, concept, I like, cool. I still don't want to give you my name or my phone number, but I like what you have just provided me. And most of the time they go back in, they refill it out and they're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
You can do this for your YouTube thumbnails, all of this stuff. I built one for you last week for fun, Ginger, with the YouTube thumbnail as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the thinking outside of where you're at. And that's really what we have to do, right? You have to get out of what you've been doing and get into something that is different to create the brand, to have the follow-up that's engaging. And especially, something that's not just an email or a phone call, but something where you're going to get that. And then to have it to where you're getting good information in, which I think is awesome. Okay, I'm going to try and post this in here. Okay, so I posted it there. We're not on the Zoom. Yes, so I just put the link into Facebook so you guys can go and check that out. But these are just great systems to be able to think about what you're doing in terms of your follow-up. And I think that's a lot of it, to be able to not just think in what is normal, but what is they're going to capture their attention, and it's going to be a streamlined process.
Instant gratification. I prove my value up front to you with the tidbit of this. Now you decide whether or not you want to give me more info and have that conversation. Meet me for something else, but let me give you something up front instantly.
I love it. Okay, so I want to unpack a little bit, because you said you're creating this for a group of real estate agents, right?
Correct.
So how would an LO do something like what you're doing? And then of course I want to make sure and share your information as well if people want to get in touch with you.
We have a lender graphics platform that I am building. It's like Canva on steroids, but it's actually easier to use. And it kind of solves that problem. How do you update your info across hundreds of digital assets instantly? So in the next month or two, I'll let you roll it out or share that with your community, Ginger.
Cool.
How a loan officer would do this right now is with their listing agents. I work with a company called Zudilio, Walled Garden. These are two really good companies for generating listing leads and buyer leads, but they still have those digital assets that you need that real estate agent to post with. So I've built something as an add-on to those two for my groups of loan officers.
So it's something they can input into what they're already doing and bringing value to the real estate agent.
Yeah, most loan officers have the same tools available. Like, here's a thing that you can go and share with your real estate agents, but think outside the box. Once you get that tool to the real estate agent, they still don't know how to use it. So we have to take it above and beyond. We actually have to give them the tools, the marketing materials, the scripting. We have to package it for them and give it to the agent, because the agents, just like us on the mortgage side, they are in strict sales mode, not so much marketing mode. So if you want the agent to use this tool effectively, you actually have to give everything to them and then almost run it for them. And that's where I've just evolved to just give it to me. I'll just run it for you, agent or team of agents. And then you generate, I'll generate the lead. You do the first step, cultivate that relationship, and then send it back to the mortgage shop when you're ready for a referral or a pre-qual. But think inside of not just giving a tool to an agent, but giving them the entire system done for you, package, push button, ready to go. Here it is. Here's the leads.
Yeah,
I love
the
it.
relationship isn't transactionally based. There's value built beyond the referral that they gave you or whatever the case is.
It's a true marketing partnership. And I don't buy coffee anymore from my real estate agents.
Right. They're buying coffee for you to find out how to get in.
When you think about that, if you're bringing something that's going to help them in their business, now you're a true partner.
Right.
And then it's one of those adages that, teach them how to fish. You're not just saying, hey, you got any business for me? You're saying, hey, let's go get some business.
Let's go get some business together and let's hold each other accountable. I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. and let's survive this next market. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity in this next market. You and I built the renovation network, Ginger, out of the last crash.
Yep.
Going forward, we will niche out in the next 12 months. There'll be a lot more niches to get into, more directories to build, and more real estate agents who specialize in those niches on the other side.
When using this time now, I think that's probably the most important thing, is use the time now where you can go and say, hey, I want to build this, or I need to work on my branding, or I need to, go through my social media and say, what does it look like? I can't tell you how many times I go to someone's Facebook page and there's absolutely no contact information, not a website, or if there's a website,
That's me.
it's an old website. Well, we have to track you down, Mr.
Yeah.
Madsen.
But I'm not consumer facing.
You're not consumer facing. But those are things. Use this time now to look at. Honestly, that's why I wrote the book right now.
Right.
It's like and you and I have always done this, Scott, you too. It's like, use this time, use the pause to think and build.
Mhm.
Don't use the pause to hyperventilate.
That's right.
I mean, that's what it is. It's like, we have a pause right now. It's not a reset, it's a pause. So use that pause right now to, do better. It's like, you have to think like you're a farmer. Farmers are not harvesting all the time. They have a time that they refurbish their soil. They don't plant in the same soil all the time. Sometimes they give it a break. They switch to some, another field. They fertilize, they, plant seeds, they do those things. Use this time now to do what you need to do to get ready for the next phase. Continue to work on your business, obviously, because I've talked to some people who have had record months, honestly, in the last month, because they've been doing the things they need to do, and systemizing is a lot of those. So I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Be intentional would be my final parting words. And 3 webinars or 4 webinars ago, you had that, Ginger. Be intentional.
Yep.
And everything that we do with our real estate agent marketing and our partnerships has to be very intentional. It's just not a shotgun approach anymore. It's going to require more effort, more work. And AI, the more time you give Scott with AI, it will replace a lot of those mundane tasks that we do. So that's good news for us, because we can actually build deeper relationships at a human level, which is where we should be. Let the tech and the AI handle all of the non-human stuff. But now is a time for us to become more human and speak that voice, as you said.
Yeah, this is another thing you just said that was really important, Mark, is I know it's scary, and a lot of people are focusing on self-survival, but there's a lot of all your referral partners are having the same challenges. Take this opportunity to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm struggling too. Let's get together and bounce some ideas, or I have these tools that we can use together to grow our businesses this time. Anything you can bring to your referral partners at this time is going to just really strengthen that relationship for when business is good. They're going to remember that.
Exactly. I love it. Well, Mark, thank you so much. I so enjoy seeing you. I love geeking out with you. Cannot wait to see you again. And the information you shared is phenomenal. And we will definitely have you back again. And
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who are on regularly with us, next week, Scott is going to dive into what we've been talking about today, and that is AI. So next week, you're going to talk about what you've been finding out with the ChatGPT, how to, make sure that you're being noticed, how to use it, and things like that. And we only have 30 minutes, so there's a lot to cover.
I think what we'll do is we'll focus on that reputation management, that post that you put in the group. Yep. I think that's a really good example that should kind of open people's eyes up to, oh gosh, what is it going to say about me?
Yeah, so make sure, hop on our call tomorrow. You can always register for our, if you can hop on Zoom, you can hop on Zoom. You can register at Mortgage Influencers. If you're on Facebook, you can watch it on Facebook Live. We always stream there. And Mark, thank you so much. And we will see you all next week.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.